Andy, welcome back.
Hello, Stephen. Good to be back.
This is Frame by Frame, everybody. And if you didn't realize, it's a new year. It's been a year since we last talked. Last week was 1994, and this week it's 1995.
That's maths. That's counting. Right.
Yes, 300. If only there was some sort of a mathematical genius way of connecting all of these years, but we'll just go one.
Yeah, if there is, I haven't figured it out.
I haven't figured it out. There's nothing funny about numbers. Have you noticed that? There's nothing funny about numbers.
Never thought about it, but now you
there really isn't anything funny about numbers. Oh, apart from 789, of course.
Yeah, and 69, people get a lot of weight out of 69, don't they?
Yeah, I'm more of a 71 guy.
Oh yeah, I like the 96.
What's that? What's that?
It's where the ball's flapping her face and they can't breathe. It's great.
Wow! Wow!
You talking to me?
Did you have a brain tumor for breakfast?
Then who the hell else are you talking? You talking to me?
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like a clown. You know?
I'm Peter Binkman.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Man that doesn't spend time with his family will never be a real man.
Damn!
I'm kind of a big deal.
First rule of Fight Club is do not talk about Fight Club.
Yeah, baby!
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
A bit of trivia. I don't know if we're going to talk about this film, but there is one film in 1995 that influenced this podcast. What is our catchphrase, man?
It's what would Michael Bay do?
That's a segment. But
Right.
but no. But what actually it is kind of like a thing that we say. Yeah, it's like, what would Michael Bay do? Yeah. But this one is it was said by Tom Hanks in the film Apollo 13, and the rocket is about to launch into space, and they're looking at the dials. And that suddenly numbers start working. It's back to numbers. The numbers start rolling, and he says,
The clock is running!
"The clock is running."
Is that where it comes from?
Yeah, that's it. The clock is running.
No idea.
The clock is running!
And if you go back to our time travel episodes that we did last season, oh hellscape of editing that was. You can actually hear subtly, when we do the time warp thing, you can hear Tom Hanks going, "The clock is running, the clock is running." It's in there.
Okay.
So subtle, it's sublime.
Oh, mate, you're a genius.
No.
All right, you're really good at editing podcasts.
Got to have some skill at something.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Andy, how are you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, good. Very fully in the Christmas spirit.
Excellent.
Yeah, I found 1995 a troublesome year.
It is a troublesome. Yeah. Okay.
Because so much in there, I didn't know what to go for, so I've just tried to. Yeah, I don't know. I could have picked easily 30 films.
There is that, and it's a matter of just kind of process of elimination and.
Well, what I've had to do, instead of thinking, what's my favourites? In fact, some of them are my favourites, I guess. But what I've had to think is, what are 5 films that would give a sort of broad sort of feeling of what 1995 was like cinematically? That's what I've tried to do, as opposed to go, right, these are my 5 favourites. Let's go with that. I've actually gone more like, let's try and put 1995 in a nutshell, basically, and that's what I've tried to do.
Exactly.
So,
well, that's a good way of doing it. I just basically just said, well, I've seen that. I haven't seen. It's like there's a couple of films that I just haven't seen or don't remember, and I like thinking, oh, I'll watch them. I have them here. I'll watch them for the first time. And then I thought, no, because the list is complicated enough. Don't add to the problem. So there will be a few honorable mentions of films that we probably should see if we haven't seen them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, and we'll see which ones clash. It'll be funny.
Yeah, I'm not sure if any will, but it might do.
Might do. Right, so you want to go first? You go first.
You sure?
Yeah, you do it.
Okay, randomly, number 1, I went for GoldenEye.
Oh, nice.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
The world's most famous secret agent is back.
We aim to please.
And this time, 007 is facing the ultimate enemy. The man who knows him best.
Hello, James. What an unpleasant surprise.
006.
What's the matter? No pithy comeback?
He was your friend, and now he's your enemy, and you will kill him.
Is the satellite in range? Target is London.
Now, the entire world is about to be caught in the crossfire.
See you in hell, James. You first. Kill him.
The pleasure will be all mine.
Did you check her out? Head to toe.
3 clicks, arms the fuse. Don't say it.
The writing's on the wall?
Grow up, 007.
I think you're a sexist, misogynist dinosaur, a relic of the Cold War.
No, James. I was always better.
Both of you, stop it! You like boys with toys. Trick is to quit while you're still here.
I wouldn't think of it.
Charming, sophisticated secret agent. Shaken but not disturbed.
Get us out of here!
Bond. Only Bond. Man just won't take a hint.
You don't need the gun.
That depends on your definition of safe sex.
On November 17th, United Artists brings you...
Trust me.
James Bond.
Why can't you just be a good boy and die? That's one trick I've never learned.
Yeah. Because it was an absolute revamp of Bond.
Yes, it was.
About Martin Campbell, Martin Campbell seems to be the director. They go when they go, oh, we need to really sort out Bond again. Martin Campbell comes along and does something great with it. I think Pierce Brosnan makes a great Bond.
Yeah,
I think he's fantastic. One of the best opening to a Bond films ever, where he's just running up to that dam and then just jumping off, and that whole thing. It's such a, and there's absolutely no music, no nothing. It's just the sound of wind as it goes down.
Keeps it simple. It's so
simple.
Yeah.
It's a really, really good film. It's not quite done, not quite got past the some of the tropes of Bond that makes Bond a bit cringy, which obviously the Daniel Craig era he started out.
Yeah.
I think this is probably Brosnan's best Bond film.
Yeah.
I think Famke Janssen's brilliant in it as the sort of psychotic, murdering vixen.
Thighs of steel, right? It's
It can't breathe, and she seems to really enjoy that. Bless her.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Sean Bean's in it as is it 008 or 00 whatever 00 he is. It's a really good film. It's a really good Bond film, and it really it sort of brought on kicking and screaming into the 90s, I think. And it's as a film that came out in 95, I couldn't not talk about it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I glossed over it, but now that you say it, it is a pinnacle movie. I mean, it didn't just revitalize the Bond series, it revitalized gaming. It brought gaming to another level as well, because there was the GoldenEye game that came out with it. I mean, how many tie-in games are that successful?
Absolutely.
with the movie,
yeah.
you know. And
it's very
yeah,
current. Oh, you know, they were talking about, you know, a lot of it was about how prevalent the internet was starting to become, and the really tapped into that with the storyline. And I think, and it's just absolute adrenaline fueled stuff as well. That thing through, is it Russia, where, you know, he's like just literally smashes his way through a city. The little cool bits that only Brosnan could really do, where, you know, you look behind him at all the chaos and he just sort of sorts his tie out.
Yeah, that's it. But that's, you know, he was born to play Bond as much as any Bond has really been. You know, you can't see them doing other things as well. You know, it's like taken back to Bond. You know,
what I really like about Brosnan, like, you know, you got the Connery, which sort of defines it.
Yeah.
And you got Roger Moore, who just went more comedy and a bit cheesy and slapstick.
Yeah,
and,
cheesy. Yeah, fair enough.
And you got, you know, Timothy Dalton was uber serious. He brought his like Shakespearean weight to it.
I didn't mind him.
I got with Brosnan, he just really sort of encapsulated everything.
Yeah, he was balanced. He was balanced, but relatable. But relatable.
Yeah, relatable. He's got the humour thing down really well. And he has that glint in his eye that you think, that man could kill me. That man that actually is a murderer, he could kill. He's got that little glint in his eye.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, I was watching a few things talk about this. Robert Carlyle did, Is It the World Is Not Enough with him?
That's right, yes.
Robert Carlyle actually said that. He said when he's acting with him, you think, oh, I'm in a Bond film, you know, he considers himself a serious actor. He goes, I'm doing a Bond film, okay, but, you know, you think, you do one for them, you do one for them. And he goes, and it's funny, you're talking to Pierce, and he's this nice guy. And he said, the moment he flicks on the Bond, you think, holy shit, this guy can really act.
Yeah.
He's like, this guy's going to kill me. And he said, he goes, he was not expecting that level of actor.
Intensity. Yeah.
He's doing that. So, yeah, so there we go. My number one, GoldenEye. Boom.
That's good. Yeah, that's a great start. It hits the clock running. The Bond is really stuck to the wall. That's
Did you know the clock is running from Apollo 13? Tom Hanks said it just as it's taken off.
Yeah, apparently so. Yeah, it's we should start using that in our podcast in the future.
Yeah, the time travel episode is the future, but also the past.
Wait a minute, is this a time travel episode? Are we our alternate selves again from the past?
I'm not going to do that to you.
No,
at least not this decade.
No, we'll think about that. Put a pin in it. So yeah, great start. GoldenEye. Yeah, what more can you say?
Oh, you know, I mean, it's a Bond film, so it's a Bond film.
It is. Yeah.
It really, as Bond films go, it's one of the better ones.
It's fun. Yeah.
It's a great film. Oh yeah.
You ready for my number one?
Let's go highbrow.
Let's get it out of the way. Let's get it way out the way. Let's get Copycat. Let's go straight to Copycat. We knew this was going to be. Yeah.
I know you're going to pick it. I'm like, why can't I pick this film, Stephen?
Did you pick? You didn't pick it. You didn't pick it though, did you? You knew.
I knew you would.
Yeah.
You even said last week that you'd be picking it this week. So anyway, go for it, buddy.
I'll do us both. I mean, this is this film was directed by John Amiel, who he hasn't done a lot of stuff, but previously recognizable was Summersby. He's very. None of his films are the same. You know, they're all very different. You know, so to go from Summersby to Copycat is quite a leap.
What turns on a killer is the suffering and death of another human being. And as his determination builds to take another life, he plans in obsessive detail what props he'll bring, what knots he'll tie. Let me ask you guys something. What turns you on?
A criminal psychiatrist.
There's a serial killer out there who strangled 3 women. He's going to do it again.
A homicide detective.
Would you work with us on this?
You're kidding, right?
I do not want you discussing this case with her in any shape, way, or form.
It's the Boston Strangler.
You telling me this guy's copycatting a serial killer's been dead for
20 years.
You're looking for an intelligent white male. 20 to 30 years old, socially functional.
Everything's different. Different guy.
He's switched from DeSalvo to Bianchi and Buono, the hillside strangler.
One man is copying the most notorious killers in history, one at a time.
He's sending you letters like he's daring us to nail him.
If he wants to be famous, he has to be caught.
I'm death and life to you, Doc.
We know that Mr. Cullen was safe in San Quentin last night, so how come his book shows up under the mattress?
Together, two women must stop him
The man who has killed 5 women in this city was just in your apartment.
before he kills again.
All I know to do is change your locks, tighten up your security, and pray.
Sigourney Weaver, Holly Hunter, and Harry Connick Jr. in a deadly game of cat
Here, kitty, kitty, kitty.
and mouse. Copycat.
Yeah, it's Sigourney Weaver, of course. She's Helen, who's agoraphobic after suffering from trauma. She was a criminal analyst, I think, and she gave lectures, and at one lecture she was attacked by Darrell Lee Cullum, played amazingly by Harry Connick Jr., the crooner. I mean, that's like having Frank Sinatra becoming Ted Bundy. You know, it's weird, but perfect. You know, another great actor. I mean, and of course Sigourney Weaver is struggling. And she goes into hiding, very much like Death and the Maiden. You know, her characters are very similar. You know, suffering trauma and then hiding out, not being able to leave her house, which is a really good trope to have in a film. A character who cannot leave their house. You know, of course, after this, either a year or so later, Darrell Lee Cullum's in prison, of course, and all of a sudden these murders start happening. And Holly Hunter, who and Dermot Mulroney are both police officers. They go to Helen for help because they think that there is some sort of connection with her in all of these murders, and the murders are copycat murders from famous killings from over the decades of American, you know, history. You know, I can only name one though, Ted Bundy. So I can't think of any. I'm terrible at remembering serial killers.
I like your list of one. It has to be a thing forever now.
It does. So I'm just going to say, it's, you know, all of these murders, you know, there's Ted Bundy. Anyway, and so, but yeah, it's Copycat was a very different film from, you know, it was a very, very strong, tense thriller.
Yeah.
You know, it's in line with Silence of the Lambs. It's got a touch of Vertigo in there. It kind of feels like its own movie, though. You can look at similar products, but it does feel like its own. Years later, though, Sigourney Weaver would actually say that she was most proud of her work in this film, and she worked really hard to portray the mindset of an agoraphobic victim. And she's regretted that the movie was lost in the shuffle of thrillers at the time. And it's not better remembered. So I'm doing this for Sigourney. This is all for you. We will remember this film because, yeah, it was right in the shuffle of Seven and other criminal movies. I'm not allowed to mention them because I have to have a list of one. I think it was. No, I can't think of any. No. So it was. This is a great film, interesting, different, and the music was great too. I love the score. Christopher Young did the score for this movie, and it's playable on the piano. What do you think of this one?
It's a great film. Yeah, I'm always hesitant to say my favorite Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah,
film.
It's difficult.
It's hard to not say that as well. It's it's a brilliant film. I couldn't have explained it better than you, but yeah, I think I would. If I didn't know for a fact you would have put it in your list, and it's one of your favorite films, I would have absolutely put it in my list. Even though I was trying not to pick a favorite, if I didn't know you were picking it, it would have gone there because And again, it's another film that not many people talk about, really.
No, it gets lost in the shuffle, like Sigourney said. You know, it's it's weird. The best ones, to me, my favorite films never get talked about that much. You know, the deep down personal favorites of mine never really have a lot of coverage. But interesting little bit of trivia, though. There's a moment where she's in the bathroom stall. She's taunting Darryl Lee or Peter Curtin killer. I'm not too sure, because there's two scenarios in the bathroom stall because he's a copycat killer. And she goes, kitty, 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 which is, of course, a back reference to Alien when she's...
Oh, yeah.
So she put that in herself. That's her little improv. But yeah,
that's a fantastic film, isn't it? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and it reminds me of 1995 because everything that led to my love of film kind of comes from this very year. There's so much going on in this year, and this was just one of those highlights.
That's been the difficult thing, yeah. But as a fanatic, it's a very formative year, isn't it?
Very. Yeah.
Really, what can you do?
Okay, so you're number 2.
Number 2, I went with an American president.
The president has asked me to convey to you that he's sending his energy bill to the floor with a call for a 10% reduction.
The president's expecting our full support.
Yes, he is.
The president's dreaming, AJ. The president has critically misjudged reality. If he honestly thinks that the environmental community is going to whistle a happy tune while rallying support around this pitifully lame mockery of environmental leadership, then your boss is the chief executive of Fantasyland.
Good morning, Mr. President. How are you today?
I couldn't be better. My apologies for the interruption.
Mr. President, I don't know what to say. I'm speechless.
All evidence to the contrary. What would happen if I called Sydney Wade and asked her to be my date at the state dinner on Thursday evening?
The president can't just go out on a date.
I'm having dinner at the White House.
I'm having lunch at the Kremlin.
I don't know what happened. One minute I was calling him a mockery of an environmental leader. The next minute I had a date.
She didn't say anything about me.
Well, no, sir, but I can pass her a note before study hall.
Would you like to dance?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, yes, sir. I'd love to.
Never mind that she is the hired gun of an ultra-liberal political action committee. And never mind that his 12-year-old daughter is sleeping down the hall.
Lucy, are you okay with this? My having dinner with a lady?
Dad, it's cool. Just go for it.
Never mind any of that, folks. My name is Bob Rumson, and I'm running for president.
In the past 7 weeks, 59% of the country has begun to question your family values. This poll doesn't talk about my presidency. This poll talks about my life.
I gotta nip this in the bud. This has catastrophe written all over it. Sydney, the man is the leader of the free world. He's brilliant, he's funny, he's an above-average dancer. Isn't it possible our standards are just a tad high?
Do you think there'll ever be a time when you can stand in a room with me and not think of me as the president?
Oh, do you know what? I had this in my list and I removed it. That's weird.
Oh,
Go for it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think this film is an absolute gem.
It is.
I really do.
It is.
So it's Michael J. Fox plays the president.
Michael Douglas. Michael J. Fox is in it. He's one of the. I think he's one of the press secretary. I think.
He's fantastic in it, by the way.
Yeah.
He's so funny in it.
Yes.
Obsessive. Yeah. Anyway.
Michael Douglas.
Sorry. Yeah. Michael Douglas plays the president, and he's widowed, and he's running for re-election.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get certain policies through, isn't he? Anyway,
he
meets Annette Bening, who does she work for like an environmental charity, doesn't she?
She is. She's an activist who kind of turns up at the press conferences and grills him.
Yeah, and they strike up, bit of a thing.
Yeah,
and they end up seeing each other, they're going on dates, and ends up becoming a relationship. And what's interesting is how him just wanting a private relationship with somebody starts to affect his approval ratings, how the conservative right then start use that and attack him for being what it is, and then start to look in the history of Annette Bening's character, and it's an interesting, especially what we've just been through.
Yes,
as well.
Yeah, how the media landscape can tarnish a perfectly, ordinary situation and scenario and turn it into something else.
I think it's a really well put together film. I think I don't think I've seen Michael Douglas as good as I have in this film.
As a romantic role, a role of authority is difficult to pull off.
Well, except to be like the president,
yes,
which he does really well, but to also be this vulnerable person who's lost his wife and now is sort of striking up a relationship with this new person. And Annette Bening is brilliant in anything she's in.
She is, yes.
She's absolutely fantastic. Martin Sheen is outstanding in this film, of just being the sort of the voice of reason, but truly just being a friend as well.
Yeah.
And this film is an absolute joy. It really is.
It is.
And that's where he's refusing to bite. The whole film is refusing to bite. He goes, I'm not. This is my personal life. It's got nothing. And it takes Martin Sheen to say, you're the president. Of course, everything you do has got everything to do with everybody else.
Yes.
That speech where he just comes up and he just talks. Oh, it's brilliant. It's really sort of outstanding speech, and I love it. And his relationship he has with his daughter is gorgeous, and it's a really, really brilliant, lovely film.
Yeah,
so.
Good-hearted, and everybody in that film is likable. And that's the thing. And it was at the time where... apart from who?
Richard Dreyfuss is a bit of a bastard in it, isn't
he? But still, there's Richard Dreyfuss behind it. It's kind of like, even when they're devious, they're kind of like, I'm glad it's him and not somebody who is, better him than anybody else. But it was at a time where, we kind of had easier going politics in America. There wasn't so much hostility and volatiles, and so it was at the same time that The West Wing was coming out, I think, as well. It's the same thread, same producers or writing team, and so it was kind of like a celebration of leadership at this time.
I just feel for everyone involved, it was kind of a lightning in a bottle moment.
Yeah,
everyone, all did it were perfect for the part they were playing. I think just Michael Douglas is great in it, and he's fresh on the heels of Basic Instinct. You know what I mean? It's like, the polar opposites of an erotic thriller into this, which is a romantic comedy. It's kind of funny.
It is a romantic comedy. It's a very down to earth, the kind of film that your mom could watch. You could watch with them, but still enjoy. It's because it's so well written. And I think with romantic comedies, if they are well written and they are engaging and they are witty on a more intellectual level and not just easy, fluffy, it's not fluffy. It's good. It's good. It's hard to describe it, but it's good.
Yeah. But again, if I was going to pick my favourites, would this be in the list? Not sure. That's something that I'm trying to give an arching narrative in 1995, because there were so many films on there that were so good. I thought definitely deserved. And I find it interesting you had it on the list and then took it out. So that.
Well, it's weird because I think I lost all the list of films that I had, and I had it in bold. I remember saying, "Do you know what? That is a dynamite movie. The soundtrack is great.
Yes,
I love the music. I'm glad you put it in there because I'd accidentally lost it in the shuffle.
There we go. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is rolling back to last year when we were in Clerks mode. We referenced a couple of things, but I had to choose something that was outside of the Clerks world, but not exclusively, just something that was parallel. So I went with Empire Records.
Record, great.
Just let me introduce you to everybody. This is Gina, Roy, Lucas, AJ. The staff of Empire Records had the coolest jobs on earth.
Do you think the story is already written, or do you think a bold and courageous act can change the course of history?
Something happened to me last night in Atlantic City.
Did you win anything?
No, I did not.
But Lucas blew it. Everyone knew it.
You were to buy Empire?
Well, that's a good thing, right? The money is gone.
Where's it going to?
I think it's recirculating. We're turning this into a music town?
I have to pay for what Mr. Brilliant here did. I'm the idiot. You're the screw-up, and we are all losers. Now, 5 friends have one day to decide what to do with the rest of their lives. AJ loves Corey, not the whole story.
Today is the day that I'm gonna tell Corey how I feel about her. That I,
Love her.
Yeah.
Do you think that it's possible for someone to be in love with someone else and not even know it?
In this life, there are nothing but possibilities.
That is so sweet. I think I'm gonna barf.
Corey wants Rex, first time at sex.
Hey, Rex, what happened to your hair?
I will offer myself to Rex Manning. I wish I could be brave. You are brave. I have to bring Rex his lunch.
I'm bringing Rex's lunch!
Mark's raging mad. Best day he's had.
Help me, help me, help me. If I was in a band, they would not be doing this to me.
Deb shaved her head and made out she was dead.
I tried to kill myself with a lady Bic.
Just your typical nutty teenager.
You did have hair, right?
I was tired of being invisible.
Gina did it again, this time to a friend.
You get smarter the shorter your skirt gets. I want to sing in a band, but I don't have the guts. So is this how your life's gonna be now? You're just gonna screw every has-been? I'm starving!
I get this funny feeling deep inside.
Want to know more? Check out the store.
Empire Records open until midnight. This is Mark. Midnight!
Empire Records, featuring the music of Better Than Ezra, Gin Blossoms, Ape Hangers, Evan Damdo, Toad the Wet Sprocket, and the Cranberries.
What is wrong with you people?
Rock and roll.
Yeah, you might have been worried, but I kind of had a feeling that there's a movie that you want to talk about that year, so I'm kind of leave that one to you. I know you've picked it, but Empire Records was it was like one of those moments where I'm growing out of my teens and I'm leaving school and I'm wanting to kind of know what it is to be a kid in a job and a kid kind of like hanging with other kids who are just no responsibilities, just doing what the hell you choose to do. It's kind of like a weird kind of time for me in 1995. And so Empire Records kind of opened me up to a lot of things. Music, especially, excitement, positivity for the future. It's Alan Moyle directed film who directed That Thing Called Love and Pump Up the Volume. So he's comfortable in the area of youth and coming of age stories. And
I was going to say it's a great coming of age story when we were literally coming of age. So,
exactly,
yeah.
But it came at the right time for me. And Empire Records, I mean, it's silly, it's pumpy, it's fun, and it's colourful, it's splashy, and it's energetic, and it's a great story. It's the plot follows a group of record store employees who, over the course of one exceptional day, I mean, if they had a day like this every day, that would be amazing, especially if Liv Tyler's working there. Oh, man. Yeah. The employees tried to stop the store from being sold to a large chain. They learn about each other along the way, and of course Joe, sorry, not Joe, is distracted, sorry. And they get distracted from the crisis because of a major store event, which was Rex Manning Day, and there is an incident with missing money. And it's kind of got everything. It's got sex appeal. It's got criminality, it's got responsibility, it's got father figures, it's got disappointment, it's even got darkness, suicide, and morbidity. It's got all kinds of darkness to it and light. Yeah, a stellar cast. You know,
is Zellweger's first films?
Who?
Renée Zellweger. She's in this, isn't she?
She'd done, I think, in the same year. She was in Reality Bites, but a very small bite. But she also did The Return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre with Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, I forgot she was in that.
That is it's a diabolically bizarre movie. You know, the 90s was one of those decades, where horror films just weren't horror films. They were something else.
Horror.
Yes. But she was. I mean, it was one of her first breakout roles. I think this one. She kind of shined quite well in this. Anthony LaPaglia, of course, is the manager of this store. You've got a lot of up and coming stars who didn't quite become well-known actors. I can't really remember any of these other than Robin Tunney, Renée Zellweger, and of course Liv Tyler, who up until that point had only done Silent Fall, a film called Heavy, and Aerosmith music videos. So she was still very fresh, but oh my God, did she shine in this film? It's fun. Right. I think anybody who likes music or working in a music store, who wants to be inspired by just being young, should watch this film. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a fantastic film.
Yeah. And again, not many people talk about it.
No, they don't.
What's going on? Oh.
Bizarre, isn't it?
It is.
Bizarre.
It is.
But, yeah, it's a fantastic film. Love it. I couldn't say anything better than what you've just said. It's just, it made me want to work in a record store as well. You know?
Doesn't it? I mean, Clerks didn't really sell. Clerks didn't really sell. Yeah?
Yeah, one of my dreams now is I still would like to own either a music store, just selling vinyl or guitars, or maybe both. I still want to do it. There's a shop in Home Fair. It used to be Bargain Booze. It was Rhythm and Booze, and it turned into Bargain Booze. And it's perfect to be a guitar shop with a corner with loads of vinyl in it.
Hang on.
I had the money. Boom.
Did you say Rhythm and Booze or Rhythm and Blues?
Rhythm and Booze, it was called. So it was open. Yeah.
It was like music and liquor.
Yeah, well, but it had all this sort of like blues music iconography all around it, but it sold booze. It was just full of booze. And then Bargain Booze took it over. But obviously, Bargain Booze went into liquidation about, a year ago? A couple of years ago. So it's now just this empty shop.
It's
a shame because it's a little shop, you know. So.
I would love to own a movie memorabilia shop. You know, something that takes me back to 1995, you know, when I used to go to movie memorabilia shops. Yeah, Picture Paradise on Lincoln was a great place to go for stills, for lobby sets, for posters, for videos. You remember those videos?
Yeah, there's a shop just open in Wakefield.
Yeah.
Which, if you look at it, it looks like a vinyl rental store. You walk in, they've got all these... not vinyl, sorry, VHS rentals. They've got all these VHS tapes all over the walls. And they've got retro games like Pac-Man in there. Nice. And you can rent VHSs. If you say to them, I want to rent this week's big movie, you open up one of the shelvings, opens up, you walk in there, it's a bar just full of 80s retro stuff, 80s and 90s retro stuff in there.
Nice. I mean, that's it. If you've just got spare cash and you know that you can make it last... Just, you know, you don't have to worry about selling anything. Just open it up and have a place, you know, for, you know, if only, man.
One day.
Yeah, the store in our heads.
Yeah. In our heads.
But there you go. It's Empire Records, and again, it's just something that everybody needs to watch. So, what's your next one, dude?
Okay, my next one is talk about films that span an entire day. I went with Mallrats.
Yes, you did.
I've never met a person who lives in as much fear of his mother as you do.
You want I should tell my mother what we do in here at night?
What, that you play video games and I fall asleep unfulfilled?
Oh, she calls you callow in here. You say that like it's bad. Well, it means frightened and weak-willed. That was the only part of the letter I thought was complimentary.
This is Brody's private hell.
Where the hell did that come from? What's going on here?
And these
Brody man, noochie noochies.
are his friends.
Ow!
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. What's a stink palm? Take your hand, you stick it like this. There, now you shake hands with the guy. You know how long it takes for that smell to come off? If you stare at these things long enough, you're supposed to see some kind of hidden three-dimensional picture.
Oh, yeah, look, it's a sailboat.
You saw it too, damn it!
We slept together one time, remember, in high school, that ski trip?
That was you?
Dude, this looks like your mom.
Bye-bye, Easter Bunny.
There is no Easter Bunny!
You know about this game show thing they got going on here? Well, we need you guys to somehow ensure that it doesn't happen.
Fly, badass, fly!
Good evening, and welcome to Truth or Date.
Second suitor, would you ever make whoopee in public?
No, I think that's kind of personal. I don't think I should answer that.
Mallrats.
You said it was a good size.
When a girl says it's a good size, it's a nice way of saying that it's small.
What else did you expect from the director of Clerks?
I knew it! Hey!
Yes.
Oh, okay. So, plot. Well, you know, there is a plot. Shooting T.S. Quint. He's going for a trip to Orlando Studios where he wants to propose to his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
His girlfriend, played by Shannon Doherty, who was really famous at the time. She can't go because her father, who sort of owns the mall, is having a game show on there called Truth or Date. There's this big sort of issue around there that, you know, he wants her to go, and obviously the father doesn't like him, and there's this thing. Okay. Get that all out of the way with.
Yes, because none of that's important.
It's important. If you've ever watched some people that are famous in the 90s, like you say, Shannon Doherty and Michael Rooker was in this, you know, and Jeremy London, I think, have been other things. If you want to see a film that gets stolen from everybody else, it's Jason Lee in this film. What an absolute starring performance. I watched this on Sky when I was a kid, right? I thought, Mallrats, put it on. I have never in all my life thought, I want to be Jason Lee. I want to be that guy in this film because he is so funny. He's so charismatic.
Mallrats. Yeah. Which character was he? Hang on.
He was,
that dude. Yeah, of course. Of course, the best mate. Yes.
His name's Brody in it.
Brody, yeah.
He's done by his girlfriend, Renee. And it just goes from there. Yeah, so it's Claire Forlani. How do you say it's Forlani? Anyway, that's TS's girlfriend. And it's Shannon Doherty is Brody's girlfriend. And they've split up. It. Yeah, it's just a day in this mall where that's it. They just go to the mall and hang around and go to the food. But the dialogue is brilliant. It's really funny. I mean, Jay and Silent Bob in this. It's a proper introduction to these two characters, and it's such a funny film. I mean, it's not directed particularly well. Some of the acting isn't particularly good. It's hilarious. It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant film. It's really good. It's really funny. And I mean, it didn't do well at all.
No.
Like, it made about 6 million. It was made by 6 million. At the box office, it took 2 million. So it wasn't a big hit at the box office. I think it did have a lease of life when it got onto video and DVD and stuff.
Well, that was it. I mean, this was the time, you know, where home video was such a measurable mark of success. It really, cinematic success was no longer important because home video was just as important. And we knew what we were doing back in that day. We knew what we wanted to watch, and Mallrats. But it's rewatchable. You can watch it over and over again. You don't feel as though you're not missing that day. You want to go back to it. It's great.
Yeah, it's fun just being around those characters.
Yeah,
especially Jason Lee, especially Brody in this, because I think he is just and I always thought that he's going to be a massive leading man.
Yeah,
he's so charismatic, and
I didn't even remember his name. I just couldn't even remember his name, Jason Lee. I was like, oh, which one was that?
Yeah, well, he's turned up in a lot of Kevin Smith's films afterwards. He plays a demon in Dogma, for instance.
Yeah.
He ended up being in a film. Oh, what's it called? With Jennifer Love Hewitt in it. Heartbreakers with Sigourney Weaver's in that. He's like the love interest in that. He ended up in a series called My Name Is Earl, where he was kind of like a redneck guy.
Gotcha.
Which is a really good series. I think he won the lottery or something in that. I remember. But I just think he's such a great actor, and he's such a comedic tour de force. But he never really broke through massively. He's got a career. I think he's a photographer now. He does the odd film, but he does photography now, and he's happy. He's probably made his money, and he's happy just living his life. But yeah, this film, and then when they're doing the stupid dating game thing at the end, Brody, Jason Lee's character, manages to get himself on it to try and ruin it. And it's just hilarious. It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's a really, really good film. Yeah. So, yeah. Definitely
encapsulates our coming of age collection of films. I mean, this is it.
This film, he's a right bastard in it. He's like a shop manager who's just this real sleazy piece of shit, and a great film. Yeah, really, really good film.
Definitely worth seeing again. Yeah.
And Stan Lee's in it as well. You get Stan Lee as a cameo in it, which is great. And
he's amazing with his cameos. He's so open and welcoming. He lets his guard down when he does stuff like this. I love that. He could just happily just sit behind his desk and say, "I'm Stan Lee, just leave me alone." But no, he wants to be a part of everybody's world, and I love that.
Yeah. Well, Stan Lee in this wants to talk about love and how important love is. And all Brody's character is bothered about is if Superman has sex with Lois Lane, will his semen just shoot through her body, and kill her? It's a fucking brilliant film.
That's funny. That's funny because last year we talked about The Mask. I found a clip, of course, if you watched the podcast, because we mentioned the sequel to The Mask. Was it any good? We don't know. We never saw it. I captured a quote from The Son of the Mask where they said that the guy puts on a mask, goes home, and starts making love to his wife with the mask on. And it's like shooting all that mask sperm into her. It's like, imagine what that would look like. It was just the visual of it. It's kind of like superhero sperm mask. Crazy. It's a funny idea.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, like Marty Coyote shooting out of his penis and running around.
It would just be crazy. Yeah, like an orgasm. The O face. But it's funny. Yeah, it's but those are the lines that you remember, and that's the beauty of a Kevin Smith film, is that he just comes up with non sequiturs, things that you just don't expect to just pop into a conversation. It's
Yeah, and at the very end of the film, it sort of says that everyone's sort of like got together and lived this life, and everyone's happy. And then it just shows Jay and Silent Bob walking on a long road with the backs of the camera, holding the hands of an orangutan, saying, "This is Susie. that's for another story. Jane, Silent Bob will return in Dogma. So he'd clearly already written Dogma at that point.
He knew what he was doing.
But that weren't his next film. He had to, because this film didn't do that well at all. He had to sort of really
make money.
Pull out something special to sort of give himself a name. And his next film would be Chasing Amy, which is again a brilliant film with Jason Lee in it as well.
Yeah.
But
that's one for the studio. One for the studio, one for the heart. You just.
Yeah. And this is just a fun comedy that's crude and witty script.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to direct very well, but it doesn't matter because it's just guerrilla filmmaking with an orangutan in it at the end. So there we go.
Yeah, exactly. Nice one. Right. Shall we change the tone a little bit?
Go for it.
We're going to change the tone a little bit. We're going to go a little bit weird. Do you want to go a bit weird? Should we get weird? That's weird. Let's get weird. I went to the cinema to see this film, and I remember sitting there at the end of it, going, "What did I just watch?" Because it was unlike anything I'd seen. And of course, it's Terry Gilliam's 12 Monkeys.
Just show them around, tell them the TV rules, show them the games and stuff, okay?
How much you gonna pay me? How much? I'd be doing your job.
$5,000, my man. That enough?
5,000?
I'll wire a check to your account as usual.
$5,000. $5,000.
$5,000.
You know how to get out of here?
Yes, my son. It's a great idea. It's great. But more of a long-term thing. First, we have to focus on more immediate goals. I didn't say a word about you know what.
This is my territory.
Is this real or is this one of my delusions?
This is definitely real.
But I couldn't help myself, and I had to go and watch it. Very rarely do I go to the cinema to watch a film twice. I went on my own twice to watch this, probably within the space of a couple of days. 12 Monkeys, of course, directed by Terry Gilliam. Need I say anything more about him? It's got Bruce Willis, Brad Pitt, Madeleine Stowe, Christopher Plummer. It's a science fiction chicken and the egg story. That kind of puts the future dystopian idea into kind of like a time travel kind of environment where Bruce Willis is kind of like a part of a big volunteer community that live in their own little cells, who get put on little missions to go back and collect things, trying to figure out the cause of a giant virus that happened when he was a kid that got released. Kind of like The Stand. Maybe it's a sequel to The Stand. Who knows? And of course, everybody has got their acting chops in this movie.
Yeah.
And they're playing against their own sensibilities. I mean, Bruce Willis and Brad Pitt are both apeshit mad in this movie, and I love it. I mean, it's a very cold, dark, and damp movie. It's very, even when we go back in time and it's the non-dystopian future, it's kind of murky. There's a lot of feelings of desperation in this film, and it's really entertaining. And
it is. I thought that Gilliam had learned a lot by making Brazil, and he brought it into 12 Monkeys and really went with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, where Brazil didn't kind of make sense to a lot of people, and it wasn't broad enough. But this, it was nominated for Oscars for costume, and of course Christopher Plummer. I think he was given almost given a nod for this. It was well performed. Mysterious. It didn't give everything away. I'm not going to give the whole ending away, but it was just so nice to see something different on the screen.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And it was so nice to sit at the end and actually not have everything all tied together in a beautiful bundle and make you sit there going, what? And that, you know, that poster was fascinating. So simple. It was just the graffiti monkey motif. And I believe that Terry Gilliam wanted to have graffiti artists everywhere around the world just spraying it, just to kind of do that kind of like that quirky Blair Witch kind of promotion. You know, it would have been really interesting if he'd become the first Banksy of the world. You know, to just put that 12 Monkeys spray everywhere, and yeah, it explores everything. It's a very fascinating movie, and yeah, I just had to talk about it because it was just something that was it was a real curveball in 1995, that film.
It was, yeah.
It did spawn a TV series, though, that was a bit forgettable.
I was going to say, yeah.
Did you ever see the TV series?
I think I tried a couple of episodes, never really.
They did 4 seasons of this, man.
Fucking hell, man.
There were 4 seasons, yes. And Terry Gilliam actually did say that about, you know, he did express his reservations. And of course he said this: "It doesn't have anything to do with me. No one has contacted me. It's a very dumb idea. If it was going to be any good, it would have been written by David and Janet Peoples, who wrote the film. Otherwise, it would just be another version of Time Bandits."
Ow.
So he was not happy, you know. And
as we know, because of our previous podcasts, time travel's hard.
It's not easy.
This does it really well. Really well, you know. And it's worth mentioning, isn't it? It was co-authored by David Peoples, wasn't it, who wrote Blade Runner?
That's it. Yeah. It was a husband and wife. I think David and Janet Peoples wrote this one.
Yeah.
Which is astonishing in itself. You know, imagine writing a film with your wife. I don't know what that would be. Yours will be like the Commitments. Yours will be about musicians.
I like this little paragraph I'm just looking at about 12 Monkeys. I've seen 12 Monkeys described as a comedy. Any laughs that it inspires will be very hollow. It's more of a celebration of madness and doom, with a hero who tries to prevail against the chaos of his condition and is inadequate. This vision is a cold, dark, damp one, and even the romance between Willis and Stowe feels desperate rather than joyous. All of this is done very well, and the more you know about the movies, especially the technical side, the more you're likely to admire it. A comedy, it is not.
As entertainment, it appeals more to the mind than to the senses.
You got the same thing. Robert Ebert, you can't go wrong with him, can you?
Ebert. You can actually go wrong with Ebert. He liked Speed 2, Cruise Control. How are we doing for time?
Oh, we're okay. Yeah, we're okay. I've got 40 minutes.
Oh, good.
So my number 4 is a Richard Linklater film. Yeah, I've gone with Before Sunrise.
Yes.
All right, I have an admittedly insane idea, but if I don't ask you this, it's just going to haunt me the rest of my life. I have no idea what your situation is, but I feel like we have some kind of a connection, right?
Yeah, me too.
Great. So listen, here's the deal. This is what we should do. You should get off the train with me here in Vienna and come check out the town. We just got into Vienna today, and we're looking for something fun to do. Sprechen Sie English?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Could you speak German for a change?
Now I'm gonna call my best friend in Paris, who I'm supposed to have lunch with in 8 hours. Okay?
Okay.
Dring, dring. Pick up the phone.
Hello?
I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it for lunch today. I'm sorry. I met a guy on the train, and I got off with him in Vienna. We're still there.
Are you crazy?
Probably. He has beautiful blue eyes, nice pink lips, frizzy hair. I love it. I like to feel his eyes on me when I look away. You couldn't possibly know a night like this is so important to my life right now. But it is. Since we're never gonna see each other again, I don't think we should sleep together.
Let's see each other again.
I don't want to break our bond, just so you can get laid. Men are lucky we don't bite off their head after mating. Certain insects do that, like spiders and stuff. We at least let you live.
Do you remember at the beginning when I said that there were films that I hadn't seen that I wanted to watch before this, but I didn't want to complicate the list? This was the one. I really wanted to watch it, but I haven't seen it yet. So go, tell me about it.
Yeah, if anyone's going to watch the film and love it, it's you. It really is. Otherwise, it's quite simple. There's a guy called Jesse, because my brain goes played by Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke's one of those actors I feel safe with, by the way.
Again.
He's on screen, I'm like, we're okay here. He's a safe actor. And he's on a train to Budapest, and he strikes up a conversation with Celine. And
Julie Delphi.
They get along really well. Start to have a conversation. They develop this thing, and then what starts then is just an entire evening with these two characters.
Yes,
we're getting to know each other, getting to fall in love, and it's an absolutely beautiful, gorgeous, incredible film. It's a really, really, really brilliant film. Very inspired by, is it Eric Romer, the French director?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is.
Because of the use of lots of handheld cameras.
Yeah.
And it's very, low-angled camera angles a lot of time. And a lot of time in films, it becomes intrusive and very, disorientating. But with this, it sort of it makes the film very intimate. It makes you feel like sometimes there's a part where they're in a booth, and the camera's just handheld right up close to them, and it works so well because you feel like you're just seeing these two people blossom and fall in love, and it's just such a beautiful film. It really is. And it's like, you want him the whole time for him to consummate this thing, because at the end he's going to leave. He's got to get his plane to go back to the States. And the whole thing is he going to make it? Is he not going to make it? And it poses questions and doesn't answer them. It's a trilogy of films.
Yeah.
You get that as it goes on. But this is my favourite out of the three. It's just a stunning, so romantic film, and it's kind of like a microcosm of love itself, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I can understand that, because and that goes with all the discussions that they have throughout the film. I haven't seen it, but I know so much about it because I've been told so much about it, and I don't understand why I haven't seen it. But yeah, I get the idea that these two, they're very openly talking about what relationships are and what they're doing. They're very they are, and it's also about, it's kind of coming. It's not coming of age, but it kind of is. It kind of is, yeah, because they're young.
Yeah, and about throwing caution to the wind and not worrying about, the what would happen after certain actions, and and they both, as the night goes on, they understand that the admit how much they're attracted to each other, but they're probably never going to see each other again.
Yeah.
But they make this bet that, if the film ends next day, Thalys train is about to leave, the couple decide not to exchange any contact information, but instead they meet at the same place in 6 months. And will they meet at that place in 6 months? Will they not? And I'm not going to spoil that. But just Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy in this are just absolutely just brilliant, mate. Just
chemistry.
Brilliant.
Chemistry. There has to be chemistry, because they made 2 other films after this. They wanted to keep coming back to this. And now my question is, Linklater, he's a bit of a foreshadower, a bit of a thinker of the future. He made Boyhood, which took 12 years to make.
Did it?
Yeah.
Went on about that.
Yeah, apparently so.
Well,
it took 12 years to make. This, I could argue, probably took longer because, did he actually think whilst they were making this first film that, we need to kind of, will you be able to come back and revisit this? I mean, can we just do the David Lynch thing and say, in 25 years, this will all come back, and I'd love to think that he's actually been planning this all along to actually have this trilogy before Sunrise, before...
Maybe not, don't know. Maybe this was such a hit, he thought, I want to make another... And you just enjoy being with these two people so much.
Yeah.
You're like, I want to be with these two people again. Or maybe this...
Yeah, they had a ball. They had a ball because, I can tell that these two, want to be together in these films. The actors want to just share that space, that intimate space between their characters.
The way the film was made feels French. I think that's why I said it was influenced by director, because the way it's made, everything about it just feels like a French film.
Just switch that language, put the subtitles on, and you would be there. It doesn't have to do anything else. You're right.
Yeah. But I would urge you to watch this film. I think you would absolutely love it.
I've got to. I have it on DVD right over there somewhere.
Oh, Stephen.
My next one is one that I didn't want to put in the list, and then I watched it again, and it broke me more than it ever had done before, and there are reasons. Boys on the Side.
So what do you think? I think it could work.
Look, I'm sure there's somebody out there who wants to go cross-country with the whitest woman on the face of the earth, singing Carpenter songs and reliving childhood memories, but it ain't me.
Hey! That's my car!
Life hasn't been easy for Jade.
Get out of the car!
Men have always been a mystery to Robin.
I'm the one who spent 3 years at happy hour and never went home with anybody except the bartender.
Hey, babe. And Holly falls in love every day.
Is it me, or is she working her way down some weird list of guys who call women babe?
Whoopi Goldberg, Mary Louise Parker, and Drew Barrymore. In a story of loyalty and trust. And boys on the side.
Okay. This is Herbert Ross, who directed Secrets of My Success, Steel Magnolias, and My Blue Heaven. The director of My Blue Heaven here.
There we go.
So he can do both comedy and drama, but this was Boys on the Side was his last movie before retiring. So he did it. He came out with a good one. This is Whoopi Goldberg, Drew Barrymore, and Mary Louise Parker as the three. Not so much friends, but they kind of become friends throughout the course of this movie. Matthew McConaughey is in there as well, in a smaller role. So Jane, played by Whoopi Goldberg, is a musician who recently broke up with her girlfriend and a band, and decides to just move from New York City to Los Angeles. But she doesn't. She wants to have a help driving, across. Driving from New York to LA, as you know, is long and tedious. So she answers a newspaper ad for a co-driver to Los Angeles, which was posted by Robin, Mary Louise Parker. So there's two strangers at the very beginning decide to meet up and discuss doing a shared drive across to LA. The mystery behind Mary Louise Parker's reasons for going to LA become evident. On the way, Jane wants to pop in to see her friend Drew Barrymore in Pittsburgh. As they do so, Drew Barrymore and her boyfriend are having a fight over drugs and money, and which ends up with the boyfriend being tied up to a chair and Holly joining their road trip. So now we've got this Thelma and Louise kind of moment where they're kind of like driving off, free women with their own stories, their own backgrounds, just bonding on this road trip. The next day they discover that the boyfriend who they tied to a chair died due to his attempt to escape from his captivity, and that froze them on a course of mayhem and chaos because they don't know what to do. Do they go back? Do they carry on? And of course, there's the secret that Mary Louise Parker is harboring, is that she's suffering from something that I don't know whether to say, whether to spoil it or not, but it's the reason why it's a heartbreaking story. But let's just say that there's a very sad ending to this film, and it's connected through music again. And Mary Louise Parker and Whoopi Goldberg sing a duet together towards the end. Of course, it's "You Got It" by Roy Orbison, and just watching those scenes at the end of this film, it just brought me to tears. It broke me, and I was like, "This is amazing." It's three girls who hardly knew each other really, and they become so close, and you feel the bond, you feel the connection, and it's truthful, honest, and beautiful, and the ending is just perfect. And not since Ghost have we actually ever had Whoopi Goldberg in such an emotionally enriched film. Sister Act is great, but I do think that this is her better film. Probably one of the film with the biggest heart, I think, in Whoopi Goldberg's career.
Yeah.
So, Boys on the Side, well worth a watch. Really good film. It's more than just a chick flick. It has much more going to it. Yeah, love it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I have seen the film, but a long time ago. I've not seen it. I remember having a similar thing. I remember it really breaking me and me being in floods of tears at the end of the film.
Yeah, and it's it is devastating, but it's so well performed by Mary Louise Parker. She brings that heart to this film, and of course Drew Barrymore brings that fun, that sense of fun to it, and that coming of age again. It's one of those things where people are transitioning. Maybe that's it. 1995 is all about transitions and discovering new paths. And it's great. Yeah.
Brilliant. Really good.
Yeah.
I was just like Whoopi Goldberg was very good in The Color Purple as well.
Oh, of course, yes, she is. And you know what? It's one
that's
of those,
80s.
That's 80s. Okay. She was great in that, and but she's so good at playing on those honest emotions, raw emotions. Yeah. She's very good, but she's also great at comedy, but that's the thing about comedians. It's Robin Williams. He can do the extremes beautifully, and you get that sense of humanity because you're able to see both extremes of these people when they're performing. And of course, this was the time where Drew Barrymore was completely, exploring so much about her own personality since being little Drew Barrymore in E.T. She had a bit of a time in the 90s, and she's totally different now. She was a completely different person to who she is now. There's a definite evolution in her story as a human being, and this is her time, definitely to shine.
Yeah, she came a long way since Poison Ivy, didn't she?
My gosh, I mean, she had such a trouble, and I think that she had a lot of transitions in her life, but she always kind of rose above it. She always floated. She never sunk, and thank goodness,
Thank goodness, yeah, she's great. Yeah, good choice, mate. Good choice.
Yeah.
Right, so my number 5.
Yay! Go for it.
Right, so I know I've already had An American President and Before Sunrise, which are, you know, and I don't want to keep going all romantic comedy, all romance, you know. But I have to. So my last film I went with Seven.
Do you like what you do for a living? These things you see?
You have to wear blinders sometimes. Most times.
Detective William Somerset is looking for a way out.
You're retiring. 6 more days and you're all the way gone.
So how long have you lived here?
Too long.
Detective David Mills is looking for a way in.
We'll be spending every waking hour together from now until the time I leave. I'll show you who your friends and enemies are.
Look, I've worked homicide 5 years. Not here.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a homicide. They're caught in a game.
No fingerprints and no witnesses of any kind.
Nope. About the only thing we know about that guy right now is he's totally insane.
Where the price of sin is death.
There are 7 deadly sins. Gluttony.
You're going to come take a look at this.
Greed.
No one touches anything.
Sloth. Wrath. Pride. Lust. And envy. 7. You can expect 5 more of these.
Body was found on Tuesday morning.
I hate this city.
We're gonna get who did this.
This will be the very definition of swift justice.
There are 2 more bodies, 2 more victims.
This guy's methodical, exacting, and worst of all, patient.
He's laughing at us.
He had a gun.
He's 2 murders away from completing his masterpiece.
Let's finish it.
Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, Gwyneth Paltrow.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
No.
7.
I wish I hadn't have picked this movie as well.
Have you picked it as well?
Yeah.
I thought you might have done, but hey, there we go.
It is 1995. Couldn't be 1995 without this movie.
No, and this is one of the first films when I watched it. It got me obsessed with just filmmaking as well as loving films. Don't know what it is about the way Fincher directs, but I mean, it's hard. It's bleak, grim. There's not much levity at all, but there's something, because it's horror inflected. So I guess it ticks all my boxes, but there's something infectious about this film. It's like the mood, everything about it just seeps into your actual body.
It does.
And it's a film that you experience.
Yes.
Rather than watch. It's a roller coaster. It's not a roller coaster ride. It's
pulls you in.
Haunted hat of a film. It pulls you in.
It's a possession.
You feel the celluloid. You feel every horrible thing. Everything going through. It gets into your body.
Yeah, but yet it puts a smile on your face, which is weird. You know, it's a weird dichotomy of.
Yeah. I mean, I know we're not allowed to like Spacey anymore, but when he finally comes into the film towards the end, what a fucking performance that guy gives, you know, and everyone in it is brilliant. So I mean, you know, Morgan Freeman is a bankable guy, isn't he?
He is.
Brad Pitt, straight off the heels of 12 Monkeys, couldn't be any different. He is in there. Gwyneth Paltrow is the poor stay-at-home.
Really likable in this movie, yeah.
Really likable, yeah, and being his girlfriend
but they're 3D characters in this film. They're not just. I mean, that conversation between Morgan Freeman and Gwyneth Paltrow about having the baby. You know, you spoil spoil that kid every moment that you get, and she breaks down. I break down. It's such a powerfully beautiful. But that's the film. It's so dark and grim, and yet it has this heart about it.
Yeah.
Sometimes the heart's not in the right place. Sometimes it's on the wall. Sometimes it's that little bit of a puddle underneath the table. Yeah, but it's somewhere. It's in every scene.
Yeah. Special shout out to the actor who I always forget him, but he seems to be pulled into films because he cries and freaks out like no other actor ever does. You know, the one who has to put on the dildo from hell? You know that guy? And he acts like that in every film he's in, where he can't. He's so he's distraught and affected by the thing he's had to do, or how upset he is. Every film he's in, he's got that way of crying where he can't get his words out because he's crying, and he does it better than anybody else.
Such a small role, and yet God. You remember it. Yeah. Oh, and whoever played Sloth? Gosh.
Oh.
Wait, I think he was all electronic. I'm pretty sure. That was a Rick Baker. Shot out of his dick. Sorry. Sorry.
That's what happens when he puts the mask on.
Yeah. Sloth comes out.
Yeah. Jesus.
Oh my God.
Yeah, what an absolute.
Oh, the detail of this film.
It really is, isn't it?
Yeah.
What Finch done before this? Was it Alien 3? Was this his next film after Alien 3?
I think this was his, like, that's it. Fincher is unflinching in this film. He does not, but that's the thing, it's such an experience. You are...
Fincher is unflinching from being flinchered.
Yeah.
Anyway, go back.
But yeah, when the credits roll, you do feel like you're kind of having to pull yourself back to reality. I mean, it's similar to 12 Monkeys kind of feel, but not as dark as 7. 7 is... Yeah.
We can hardly stop raining.
It doesn't stop raining. But it has comedy. It has funny moments in it, though. At the most,
like Brad Pitt is just trying to develop his career as a a detective, and he's so starry-eyed and.
But it doesn't last for very long. I mean, it does go straight into it. It's not a gradual thing. It's wow, and. You know what? They never did a follow-up. They tried to kind of make films like it. I mean, you can argue that Zodiac was kind of like in the same vein. That was also Fincher, I think. But
it was, but that's more of a detective story, being that the film's actually trying to figure it out itself.
Yes, it still doesn't know what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, Fincher being painstaking in the way he makes a film, and how many takes he does and all that,
But it's detail. I mean, there's so much detail. I mean, and then it's so dark at the same time. How do you get that duality of being so beautifully rich in detail and actually not be able to see absolutely everything? You only see what you're supposed to see. That's it. But you feel.
And it can't be a point that when the sun finally comes out and has a sunny day, that's the time when they've got him, and they go to the what's in the box.
Yeah, another inspiration for us doing a podcast.
Yeah, what's in the box?
A lot of influences here.
Oh, but yeah, you can't take it. I know the guy's a bit of a prick, but my God, when Spacey finally comes. And he said, didn't he? He's like, you cannot put me in the credits at the beginning of this film.
Yeah, no, he was smart. He was smart about that. He wasn't egotistical. He doesn't... He sometimes comes across as having a bit of an ego, but I think so much of that is what you have to be as an actor. So much of that is just the relationship you have with the world. But as an actor, he is stone cold in this, and there's no soul in him, but there's so much going on behind that cold.
He's brilliant in it.
Yeah,
he is brilliant.
Great.
When he's in the back of the car and he's rocking back and forth, and he's like a child.
Yeah, he's excited.
So excited.
Can't wait.
It's like, were you so happy about it? Can't wait for you to see it. I just can't wait for you to see it, you know. And it's like, he's excited because he's cut his girlfriend's head off and put it in a box. But to him, it was part of his game, part of this Seven Deadly Sin thing. And
I found
the last
that
puddle. Oh my God, it's so good, but dark and grim.
You don't know it, you don't see it, but you don't see it, but you know it, and that's the amazing thing. It's subliminal, it's sublime. But thankfully, you know, I love it when the world reacts to things like this, and the idea that Gwyneth Paltrow one Halloween actually went to a Halloween party, didn't know what to wear, so she just got a cardboard box and put it on her head. And it was Gwyneth Paltrow's head in a box, and she did that, you know. So kudos for her for having a sense of humor about losing her head. Yay!
Hey, you like the film doesn't end, but does end. It has an ending, but it doesn't have an ending. You know what I mean? Like the ending
feels like it's
the bad guy gets what he wanted. The bad guy wins in the end because he wants. Because the last sin is himself.
He knew exactly. That's it. Yeah.
And you know, so he's murdered his girlfriend, and you don't, because of envy, and he's like, so he wants him to kill him because that's what he wants. That's exactly what he's seen throughout the whole horrible thing. And you don't want him to kill him, but you do want him to kill him.
Oh, yeah. It's a conflict. It's a conflict.
Oh, so well done. It's such a good film.
What a year. I mean,
see what happens when you get a director with a vision, you just let him go with it.
That's it. And yeah, I mean, it's nothing like this has come out since. I mean, they've tried. I mean, they tried with Kiss the Girls with Morgan Freeman. They've tried to kind of bring that kind of feeling again, but no, this movie is in itself so unique.
Yeah.
People
always talk about Fight Club being like Fincher. It's a great film, and I've never been a huge fan of Fight Club. I appreciate it for what it is, and I like it, but I just don't like about it. I never have. But Seven, it's an outstanding achievement. It really is.
Yeah, I think with Fight Club, it kind of makes you want to become a member of something that you have no right being a part of. There, that the fan club of Fight Club. You know, it's an odd club to be a part of. You know, but with Seven, you're on your own. You're on your own when you're in that movie. You don't connect with other people about Seven in this way. You know. And Fight Club, you kind of, everybody goes, oh yeah, but it's because of the twist, and it's because of that, and everybody seems to have this kind of ego about knowing what Fight Club is really about, you know. Yeah. And it's not. It's what it's just, you know. Yeah. So I kind of like try and get away from that kind of movie. I don't enjoy wrapping myself up in that kind of narrative, you know. Just because Sixth Sense, you know, has a twist, it doesn't mean that it's the best movie. It's just because they've gone back and just tweaked it, you know, to make it look special.
Be interested. We watched Panic Room last week.
Yeah,
which is another film, and that's a very good film.
Incredible.
It's not like, but I loved it.
Yeah,
watched it again. Really enjoyed it. Yeah,
it is a good film, but it's technically amazing. When you think about how they make it. I mean, I got the 4-disc DVD edition of that, and of course, with DVD, 1 disc is the movie, 3 was all the different departments, 3 separate discs of different departments explaining how to make the movie. And to me, that was so fascinating, how they pre-visualized every single room in that building. I mean, it's a massive place. It's a massive place for them to occupy, though, when you think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, another great film.
I was just thinking, it's 2002, so we won't be talking about
We
that.
won't be talking about that. I was just thinking, was it 1998? It kind of like, maybe. No.
Yeah, no.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so Seven, man.
Yes. And, we neither of us mentioned, because that was our fifth, right? So neither of us mentioned Heat in this mix, or Casino.
I nearly picked. Yeah, Casino to me, I really like Casino. I think it's a great film. It's a brilliant film, but it's not Goodfellas.
No, it tried to be. It tried to be.
Yeah, it was like revisiting that. Really, it's hard to ignore when you're watching Casino that Goodfellas exists.
Exactly. And of course, with Heat, it's an honourable mention. I think definitely an honourable mention is. Oh,
everyone talks about it, but the scene in the cafe just between Pacino and De Niro is outstanding. And weirdly, I was listening to Pacino because he's got a book out, hasn't he? And Pacino's being interviewed by, I think it was Mark Maron, and he said that it was just before they shot it. He said we need to rehearse, and De Niro said no, because we won't rehearse. Let's just sit down and then shoot it. Let's just do it. So they did that with no rehearsal. Now, they shot it a lot of times.
Yeah.
And he said he doesn't know which one ended up, whether it was the first one. He said there weren't much difference between any of the takes, but there was no rehearsal. De Niro didn't want to rehearse it. He said you just want to walk in, sit down, and then do that scene.
Yeah. He didn't want to, I can imagine he just didn't want to make it too big a deal. Otherwise, he just would get lost he needed to be in the moment.
Yeah, I think being in the moment, being spontaneous.
It's method. It's method. Yeah. Oh, but we could have mentioned that, but we didn't. Any other mentions? Monkey Trouble 2? I don't know.
I know I'm gonna have to get up the list now again, of
course,
so many.
Apollo 13, Babe.
Apollo 13 was great.
A
film I really struggled with was City of Lost Children. You seen that?
No, I didn't.
Brilliant film. I highly recommend that. I mean, Toy Story come out. Toy Story is arguably one of the best films ever made. I could talk about Showgirls a lot because I think that's.
Hang on. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
That's gone. There we go. Sorry. What else can you talk about?
Showgirls. I mean, if there was a film that everyone hates that I think could be a cult classic, I mean, Showgirls I don't think it's quite as bad as everyone thinks it is.
It isn't bad.
Die Hard with a Vengeance is good by turning the Die Hard thing on its head.
Yeah.
Sense and Sensibility is good. Leaving Las Vegas is bloody hell. Ghost in the Shell came out then.
Yeah.
Quick and the Dead.
Mighty Aphrodite.
I nearly talked about Mighty Aphrodite.
Yeah.
Because she's amazing at that. But I could not talk about her and not get into the whole Harvey Weinstein abuse, what happened to her career.
Yeah, it's a shame.
And it really is a shame because she's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, she won an Oscar for it, didn't she? So Waterworld, I think Waterworld's a great film. Desperado, To Die For, Nicole Kidman.
To Die For, yeah, an obscure little movie. Didn't really grip a lot of people, but I think it was still a fun thing. Yeah, I mean,
Outbreak.
Oh, of course, Outbreak. We better find that monkey.
Yeah, Ace Ventura and Nature Calls. But,
There you go. That was 1995 in a nutshell. But I can tell you something now. 1995 was a good year for one person. It's time to delve into this week's...
You know me.
What?
I'm Jackie Chan.
Welcome to the Jackie Chan Corner with Andy Lewin. Ready?
Action.
Fight.
De Niro, wow. Dustin Hoffman. Jackie Chan.
I'm Jackie Chan.
He had 2 films that come out this year, thank you very much. But yes, you are right. Rumble in the Bronx was the film that really shot him into America.
That's it.
Because finally, that was a Hong Kong film. It's called Rumble in the Bronx. I think it was shot in Vancouver. It was not shot in New York.
Yeah.
But he comes over to help his uncle who started a store. And some horrible arseholes, like a gang, keeps smashing up the store, won't let him do it. And it's his uncle who sold it to Anita Miao's character.
Mm-hmm.
She's bought it, and he's gone over to oversee it. And this gang keeps smashing it up, so he gets entangled with this gang. Ensues much Jackie Chanisms, But again, like I was saying last year with Drunken Master 2, this is Pete Chan. He's kind of like he's best by being like his choreography is second to none. He's fighting everything in it. He does some incredible set pieces. I mean, this is the film where he jumps from one building to another building with no safety net. He just jumped from the top of one building onto the balcony.
King of parkour.
Yeah, he kind of started that sort of thing, and this again, a film plot. I mean, there's this diamond heist stuck in the middle of it for no reason whatsoever. This kid gets involved because there's a disabled kid in the apartment block he works in, and the nasty bastards hide the diamonds in his wheelchair. It's all just a vehicle for Chan to do what Chan does best. And there's a great fight scene, an actually violent thing where it ends with Jackie Chan they get bottles and start chucking bottles at him, and he ends up just nearly half dead. And it turns out the girlfriend of the gang is the one that saves him and sort of nurses him back to health. Again, it's just a vehicle for Chan doing Chan. He goes back to where all the gang hide up and just basically beats the crap out of him. There's a brilliant fight scene there. And the end, culminates in hovercraft going, and Jackie Chan water skiing without water skis across this thing and doing all this stuff. It's low on plot, high on Chan.
That's it. How many Chans do we give that?
I'll get 4 out of 5 Chans. This one does.
4 out of 5 Chans. Nice one.
Yeah, it's a good film if you just want to watch it and go, my God, look at him go. It's bad acted, plot, but it's not about that, is it, with Jackie Chan film? His other film was Thunderbolt, which is kind of a car racing film, which has got some great set pieces in it, but he'd had an injury on Rumble in the Bronx where he jumped off this bridge onto the hovercraft and he landed on his foot and broke his foot.
Eek.
And so he had to use, for some of the set pieces in Thunderbolts, you could tell there's a few stunt doubles in it because he couldn't do it because of his ankle. But what he did on Rumble in the Bronx, which is actually quite funny, he went off cut, he fixed his ankle, put his ankle right, and put a cast over it, and then he got like a sock that went over his cast that looked like a trainer, and then just carried on with the film.
Pure Jackie Chan move. Yes.
Chan. So yeah, there's Jackie Chan corner.
That's it. Fantastic. Oh, so Thunderbolt, how many Chans?
Thunderbolt, 3.5 Chans out of 5.
3.5 Chans out of 5. That satisfies my special effects inclusion in that podcast edit. So that's it. We did it again.
Fantastic. Thanks, buddy.
See you. Take care, buddy. Bye.
Bye, mate.
Cue Tom Cruise. And he's gone now. He just left. So we better just cue. Come on, Tom Cruise. Where are you, Tom? Tom?
I feel the need for speed. Ow! Charlie, don't surf!
This is fantasy.
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Quit griping.
I like griping.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.